Ryan Sheckler, man. I feel like this dude was everyone's favorite skater at some point, if you skated. And I mean, I never even knew this dude went to rehab. Like, I just barely, I'm seeing this for the first time through the title, and the thumbnail of this looked wild. So I kind of want to hear this man's story, because I remember seeing this dude on all kinds of stuff. And that movie Grind, do you remember that movie Grind? Actually, that movie's free on YouTube right now. I'm watching it again, and it was kind of like, I don't know, man. That stuff was so much different back then. It's kind of crazy and funny to look back on stuff from like older times, you know? And I mean, that's only what, like, it's like 20 years ago at least, right? I need to look up when that was made, but everybody's getting old, bro. Time just keeps going, huh? Anyway, yeah, I kind of want to hear his story, so
Ryan Sheckler is one of the most controversial skaters in history. Ryan Sheckler is one of the most controversial skaters in history, but also
what's controversial though?
He won his first X Games gold medal at just 13 years old, secured
this
his own
dude was
TV
like
show, and has landed some of
a
the
child
gnarliest
superstar
skate tricks we have ever seen.
Dude, that fucking kickflip, bro.
Led him to being manipulated and taken advantage of. The fame and fortune came with a lot of sacrifice and exhaustion. The chaotic lifestyle was unsustainable for Sheckler, and eventually it all came crashing down.
The Bieber hair, bro.
Whatever it takes to get control of his life again. Southern California is the skateboarding capital of the world. Ryan Sheckler was lucky.
Dude, imagine being around in these times.
He got his hands on a skateboard before he could even walk, and from there, he was hooked. Every skateboarder
who needs to walk when you can skate, though?
Ryan landed his at just 6 years old. That same year, which was 1996, Ryan entered his first California Amateur Skateboarding League contest and won. He continued.
What? This man learns a kickflip and then enters a contest and wins? What the fuck? What is he, kickflipping everything? You learn flat ground kickflips and then you just are kickflipping everything.
And from there, he was hooked. Every skateboarder remembers their first kickflip.
Right,
Ryan landed his at just 6 years old. That same year, which was 1996.
Then again, maybe
Ryan
all the other
entered
kids
his
were just like
first
doing pop
California
shoves.
Amateur Skateboarding League contest.
Around his age, you know?
He continued competing with CASL yearly, quickly becoming recognized as a child prodigy.
He's probably really good at vert.
Wanted an opportunity to invest in the upcoming star. Etnies Skate Shoe Company gave him his first pair of free shoes, and he skated in their brand for the rest of his career.
But
at 8 years old, Ryan
never
was about
had
to
any
experience
Etnies.
his first time being exploited as a child star. Ryan earned his first magazine cover, which is a huge accomplishment for a skateboarder, but it was for Big Brother magazine. Big Brother was a skateboarding magazine notorious for their edgy articles, lewd pictures of women, and publishing filthy shock value material that parents did not want their children exposed to.
And they put a kid's photo on.
Baby-faced Ryan was featured on the cover of their Kids issue, which was obviously a troll because the material in this publication was not for kids. This particular issue would lead to the downfall of the company. Ryan's parents didn't really understand what they signed up for, and they later denounced the magazine and kept it pushing. By the time Ryan was 13, he was an incredible skater, but he couldn't make any money due to his amateur status under the World Industries.
I remember
Most
that.
13-year-olds are not thinking about money, but he was way too talented and
I was actually just remembering that like a couple weeks
ago. So he
ago.
decided to skateboard professionally after he was contacted by Almost Skateboards to represent their brand. Almost was founded by Ryan's idol and skateboarding legend, Rodney Mullen. And even though he spent his entire amateur career with World Industries, he switched teams. The decision to turn pro basically ruined all chances of Ryan having a stable upbringing. It's hard to know if he really wanted this for himself or if his parents felt like they needed to profit from their child's successful hobby. Either way, Ryan was about to become an adult many years too early, which would do damage that has lasted a lifetime. 13-year-old brace-face Ryan made his X Games debut.
That's so crazy though, Ray. Like seeing stuff, videos like this, you kind of just are like, damn, seeing them now, you know? You're seeing videos from whenever they were younger and I would say more innocent, you know, not exposed to whatever got them to their downfall. But then you see them in their downfall compared to this and you're kind of just like, it's never good. You always want a good story, you know? You only want people to succeed and go get better, but I mean, they could always still come back up, but I mean, Bam Margera too, dude. He was in that movie Grind. Whenever I saw him on the movie, I was like, damn, I'm thinking about him too, because like, he was young, had it all, and then young people with money, dude, for some reason, well, not for some reason, fucking all this depression and not knowing what's going on and people betraying you and using you for clout and money and not knowing, you know, like all this betrayal from people. People can't just be real with each other. And then with all that money, you know, comes drugs and shit to deal with all that pain. And drugs are bad, dude. Drugs are bad.
2003 and faced off against legends such as Eric Costin, Mike Vallely,
Eric
and Chad Muska.
Costin.
He dominated them all in the skateboard park event and became the youngest gold medalist in X Games history. Ryan looked as natural and fluid on his board as any veteran in the contest. This event was broadcasted all over the world, and his fame leveled up like crazy after winning. His brother Shane vividly remembers big companies started to pursue him, and TV channels wanted to book him for interviews. You could tell something crazy was about to happen. Ryan was now considered parallel with 5, 10, 15-year skating veterans. He was one of them. I would feel so nervous I'd think I was about to cry. But I realized that I loved that feeling of fighting through to find my composure to plan my runs. That year, I just felt unstoppable. Ryan was unstoppable, and he was surrounded by much older men who wanted to show him this crazy lifestyle. Pro skateboarders are required to travel city to city, hunting for rails, gaps, stair sets, and skate spots to film parts for a video or magazine. Drink water, by the way. For 8 months out of the year, 13-year-old Ryan was on the road. This usually leads to late nights and nothing near a consistent daily routine. King of the Road is a show created by
all the dudes are going out getting drunk and fucking,
a book of challenges that
getting
they have
wild.
to complete. For example,
alright, missions. Skate the 13th stair at Skyline High. Build a 3-man skateboard with 3 men riding it. Jump
the fuck?
3 stair.
like all skate videos, it's the behind-the-scenes clips that usually become more memorable.
Oh, were they doing the
like Van Margera's crazy stunts or Rob Dyrdek's skits?
Yeah, that's what led to Jackass. Is they were doing skate or they were doing shit.
For the clip of him making out with a 24-year-old woman. Ryan, who was only 14 years old at the time, was being hyped up by his older friends. Obviously, if the gender roles were reversed, none of this would have been acceptable.
Would be wild.
Ryan's life was moving at 100 miles per hour, and he was not being guided properly. And the harsh reality is, these acts of hazing or initiation probably made him seem cooler and more popular in the skating community. At this point, he was skating at an all-time high. In 2005 and 2006, he finished.
You're putting little tiny microscopic dents in our concrete, sir. You can't be skating here. Fuck out of here.
Top 3 in almost every event he skated in. 14 to 16-year-old Ryan Sheckler was definitely his prime skating years. Huge stair sets, long down rails, massive gaps. Ryan was
that one right here was fucking huge, bro.
Rad. If he was this good at 16, we can only imagine what will happen in his 20s.
He was 16 when he did that.
If he was
kickflip, no, he wasn't.
Gaps, Ryan was fearless and undeniably rad. If he was this good at 16, we can only imagine what will happen in his 20s. His fame and fan base were growing rapidly. He was the inspiration for kids all around the world to get into skateboarding. But Ryan wanted to remain in school. He was constantly surrounded by adults and began feeling out of touch with people his age. While he admits that his older teammates and friends allowed him to build character and prepare for adulthood, he ultimately needed a childhood, surrounded by other children. His freshman year, he was able to balance normal high school and work, but his skating success took all of his time and forced him to be homeschooled during his sophomore and junior year. This decision would lead to a massive opportunity that would change his life. Ryan's close friend and fellow skateboarder Rob Dyrdek came up with the idea for Ryan to have a reality TV series. Rob had multiple successful shows with MTV and was convinced that Ryan's chaotic lifestyle would make for great television.
Dude, MTV just kind of
secured his own MTV show for 3 seasons. Life of Ryan followed the teenage skateboarder as he went about his daily life. MTV just gave
people money back then just to fucking make their own shows, huh? Especially Rob Dyrdek.
Arguments with the family. Season 1 debuted to over 2 million viewers per episode, and Ryan was approaching A-list celebrity status.
Remember
he became
Viva La
like
Bam?
The Justin Bieber of skateboarding, gained a massive fan base of teenage girls
fucking
who
looks like
treated
him
him
too.
like a young heartthrob. Wherever Ryan went, television cameras and paparazzi followed. One time he was shut down in a Chili's restaurant in Orange County, and the SWAT team came to break up the crowds.
SWAT team,
the
bro?
fame and fortune he could handle. But behind the scenes at MTV, something much darker was happening. Monday through Friday, he woke up with multiple cameras
SWAT showing up?
Everywhere he went, he had a crew of 25 people with him, which was exciting, yet stressful, and ultimately led to outbursts. Off camera, producers would instruct his mother to say certain things they knew would upset Ryan, causing him to have tantrums on camera. While the show was not scripted, the producers understood certain family
producers
dynamics
are little
and used this knowledge
motherfuckers
to cause unnecessary drama for ratings. The dynamic with his parents began to change. He started calling the shots and living life on his terms since he was financially independent. In one particular scene, he didn't clean his room when his parents asked, which ended up being an explosive argument, ending when Ryan slammed the door in his father's face. Ryan left for a few days to skate, and when he came back, his father was gone. Shortly after, his parents were filing for a divorce. MTV producers were licking their chops because they had a juicy storyline, and deep down, Ryan thought his parents' divorce was because of him. He was blindsided. He genuinely thought they had a loving relationship, and they always supported Ryan's dreams. So once all of this stress reached a tipping point, he thought it was because they focused too much on Ryan's career instead of their marriage. As if it couldn't get any worse, Ryan's perception of the skateboard community started to change negatively, mainly because the show portrayed him as an impulsive and spoiled child, rather than just a rad skater. These 23-minute episodes were mostly filled with Ryan's worst moments rather than his awesome talents. Ryan was openly vulnerable on camera, but was met with criticism online from the skate community, with many mocking him for being soft and calling him Crying Ryan. But Ryan didn't find this out himself.
Good
MTV
one, bro.
Producers told him that's what people were calling him online, and they strategically waited to tell him this new nickname until he was feeling emotional on camera, which prompted him to cry again. Straight up psychological manipulation of a child.
Fucking bullying,
By the end of
bro.
season 2, the cast no longer wanted to be there, but they were forced to do a third season due to a clause in their contract. When Ryan initially accepted the offer to have his own reality TV series, he told himself that if the show
not wanting a show and they still gotta follow you,
he would quit entirely. And that was about to come true. MTV finally hit Ryan's tipping point when they started forcing him to break up with his girlfriends on camera.
So we break up once, and then cameras are on, we break up again, cut. Now the mood's really awkward. And then, you know, they come over to me and they're like, hey, that wasn't enough. We need to do it again. And so that's where the show became acting, and it became like this thing where it was like, this is not what we signed up for, and this is not what it started out as. Like, it broke my heart, dude. It broke my heart.
So fucking annoying, dude.
I don't know. Borderline traumatized me. I didn't get into a relationship after the show until I was 25 years old.
What?
Because I didn't want to have to go through a breakup again. I have a heart, man, and I have very strong emotions,
a lot of people do.
And I do not like hurting people's feelings. I do not. And so to blatantly have to hurt people's feelings over and over again
on camera
for the sake of television, for ratings,
yeah, that shit is weird.
And quit the show midway through season 3. MTV.
Could you imagine that? Like actually having to break up already on screen and on camera, you know, that's already weird enough. But then you got to be like, hey, they said they didn't get a good shot. We kind of got to do it again. But then agreeing to do it again too as the girlfriend is kind of weird, right? She could have just been like, what the fuck? No, I'm leaving. And then the crew would have to deal with what they got, right? Fuck TV, bro. TV execs and shit. Fucking
obviously very upset.
Pigs,
but
bro.
What they did was pretty wild.
Not really
they
pigs, but like
aired
goblins.
The entirety of season 3 in one day. Released all of the episodes on a random Tuesday morning back to back to avoid breaching their contract. After that, MTV never aired a single episode of Life of Ryan ever again on their network. Ryan admits this is where his life got a little bit darker. He turned to alcohol to fix all of his problems once he turned 18, a habit that would ultimately get out of control. Ryan was spending money like
18,
crazy.
the legal drinking age.
Suites, supercars, jewelry, private flights. He spent $1 million on bottle service and tables and clubs. He would set a goal to win skate competitions
$1 million?
more things to fill the tables.
Did I hear that right?
Jewelry, private flights. He spent $1 million on bottle service and tables and clubs. He would set a goal to win skate competitions in order to purchase more things to fill the empty void caused by his drinking and trauma. But make no mistake, he was still skating at a high level. In 2008, he secured his second gold medal in X Games Street, and his shift to focusing on skating full-time proved to be working. Ryan traveled to California and unintentionally stumbled across Thrasher Magazine's Buster Bale skating event. Ryan abruptly decided to enter the contest.
I remember seeing this
massive backside flip down the 16 stair, which earned
it was
him
like an impulse show up.
After
you know,
the competition, he continued his trip around California and encountered the infamous El Toro, located on the campus of El Toro High School in Lake Forest, California.
That shit is fucking huge.
The El Toro 20 was named after its 20 concrete
He backside flipped that one too, I think.
Witnessed some of the most iconic moments in BMX and skateboarding history.
What the
Since
fuck?
Ryan just landed a massive backside flip down a 16, he was confident that he could do the same trick down El Toro, which was just a few more stairs. He told his friends, teammates, and word spread around the skateboard community that Ryan was going to attempt arguably the biggest backside flip in history. This overconfidence would lead to a decision that destroyed his reputation forever.
Why? Didn't he get? Oh, he broke his ankle.
This injury halted
Unexpectedly,
Ryan's plan to skate El Toro and left him in a cast for several weeks. One day, while at Etney Skate Park in Lake Forest, Ryan came face to face with Jake Phelps, an iconic magazine editor who worked for Thrasher magazine. During their interview, Phelps asked Ryan if he completed the trick. Intimidated by his presence, Ryan lied to him and told him that he had completed the trick. According to Ryan, he intended to skate down El Toro once his injury healed and already believed he could complete the trick since he did something similar weeks prior. Unfortunately for Ryan, he had just committed a skateboarding cardinal sin, lying about landing a massive trick. For months, the skateboarding community expected to see the footage in an upcoming Plan B video. A backside flip down El Toro would be considered top 10 Hall of Fame skateboarding tricks. However, the footage never made it on the project. Over time, the longer Ryan took to release the footage, the speculation arose that he may have lied about it. In 2014, instead of just finding the video footage and releasing it himself, Ryan decided to redo the dangerous move for an upcoming skate film called
his foot up again?
Album. And although he got close, he never landed the backside flip, injuring himself in the process. The footage was taken out of the final cut, but was eventually leaked onto the internet many years later, sending the skateboard community into a frenzy. If people didn't like Ryan before, they hated him now. He was heading into his early 20s.
Dude, he still tried it, bro, and he stuck it a few times.
Now he had a chip on his shoulder. Some of the skate community.
I mean, I get it, he lied, but
a liar, nothing more than a pretty boy to be the face of the sport. But he won X Games gold for the 3rd time in 2010, and 3 consecutive Dew Tour street style first place finishes.
Oh, I remember that fool. Whatever happened to him on the left, that dude was fucking good. I forgot what happened to him, dude.
Consecutive Dew Tour street style first place finishes from 2012 to 2014. His contemporaries respected his skills.
Is that Leo Romero on the right?
While he was skating at an elite level, he suffered from an insane amount of injuries.
Broke my left elbow 6 times, right elbow 4 times with plates and screws in here.
That's a Leo Romero.
Liz Frank injury.
No, what the fuck is his name?
Leo separated the first metatarsal and had to
I forgot his name, bro.
That took over a year to heal.
The injuries never affected his skating performance.
He's got dope shoes. What the fuck is his name?
Drunk. Around
Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez.
And he could no longer manage this lifestyle.
I wanted to stop partying. I wanted to stop drinking. And I couldn't do it. What made Oslo the breaking point for me was that out of my whole life, the one thing that I have had this crazy, intense passion for, which is skateboarding and competing. I'm in Oslo and I want nothing to do with skateboarding. I don't want to be a skateboarder. I don't want to be a competitor.
No, what the fuck is his name?
I want to just go take the money I've made, get off the map and go party.
Louis Lopez. Not Leo, Louis Lopez.
But like, I didn't want to be in the public's eye anymore.
His mother, who had always supported him, encouraged Ryan to start treatment for his addiction. He said it was the scariest day of his life, but it strengthened his relationship with his mother. Sheckler attended an in-person rehab and was fully committed to his recovery. His last first-place victory was in 2014 at the age of 25. His presence in skateboarding dwindled after getting sober. He embraced Christianity and devoted himself to becoming a role model across all aspects of his life. He eventually
and a lot of people turn to that
lying about the
religion
incident in numerous interviews. Skateboarders still harass me everywhere I go. I don't feel like skaters should be hating on each other. I owned up to it. I apologized for it. It showed me the power of what one—
Dude, come on, like people are probably like, hey, what about that backside flip? I like, can you really be, I mean, I guess it's got to be really annoying. And who really, like, is that petty? Hey, bro, I heard you landed that backside flip. Come on, bro. Imagine getting, I don't know. It's probably very annoying, too, to have to, like, deal with that all the time. But imagine going out of your way to be petty about that. I don't know. I think that's kind of just dumb. Like, okay, he said he did it and he didn't really do it. He just really believed he could. And at least he actually attempted it and stuck it a lot of times, you know? A lot of people wouldn't even try it. So,
I
don't know. I don't see that as such a big deal.
He started touring with his charity, the Sheckler Foundation, donating $10,000 grants to underprivileged communities.
Not like he CGI'd it either or something, you know? He could have really fucking faked it.
Generation of youth skaters. Although he spent a lot of money recklessly as a teenager, he made a lot of great business decisions as well.
$1 million on bottles and shit.
Underwear company
the club, bro. Fuck that. That's
brand.
so
He
much.
recently launched his own Sheckler.
Might as well own the fucking building.
His company called Sandlot Times. He is also a partner in Palm Springs Surf Club, which is basically a $100 million surfing playground.
I look like Steve Irwin.
Formally retired
or not
from
Steve.
skating.
Yeah, that's his name, right?
Skateboarding
the
was
Crocodile
his
Hunter.
whole life since he was 13. He never really got a chance to live normally. He still skates at a high level, but he probably won't ever be a competitive threat to the guys in their 20s.
Or like I've seen it in videos.
His life was going 100 miles per hour from age 13 to 25. The skateboard community went from loving him to hating him to now respecting his legacy. This life definitely took a toll on Ryan. You could see it in his face. But today, sober Ryan Sheckler has a new lease on life. And this time, he's in full control.
Hey, we love a good ending. But damn, I never knew it got that serious. All because he lied about backside flipping El Toro. I mean, he shouldn't have lied. Like he probably didn't expect people to dig so hard into it. You know, it was probably like one of those things where you just say something and from everything, like from the entire video, like a fucking 40-minute rant probably, everybody was like, oh shit, he backside flipped El Toro? Oh, I can't wait for that. And then hype built up off of that. You know, he probably didn't expect it. So I don't know. I feel like it's not such a huge deal since he did stick it quite a few times. And, you know, a lot of people aren't even going to try that. I know I fucking wouldn't. And a lot of professional skaters wouldn't either because they know, like, it's a fucking big ass, it's a huge fucking stair set. So I don't know. I don't see it as such a big deal, but I guess, yeah, it is one of the cardinal sins, right? If everyone's hyped up for a video part, you know, when you're that deep into it and then you find out, like, why would you lie about that? Because it is kind of weird, right? Like, why lie about it? But I think he might have just been nervous, right? Because that's like the Thrasher dude. Every time I think of Thrasher, I think of his face, you know? That dude he was talking to. I forget his name. But I don't know. Poor Ryan. At least he picked it up though, right? Hopefully he stays on a good track now. They said he's into Christianity now, so hopefully that's good. We love good endings.